Joshua's question here, do you have any suggestions for the best way to supplement the feed of chickens who range? Would you provide feed all day or only at a certain amount of time? We are learning how to do this as we go. We have our chickens currently grazing our cover crops through the vineyards and olive orchards. It isn't as balanced as a diet as your video mentions. So we supplement a raw seed feed throughout the day for them to have a choice and get a balanced diet. The chickens themselves are new to rotational grazing and they're pretty dependent on feed, as that is what they're accustomed to. Well, if they're on the range, they won't really need too much. If you want more eggs, supplement the feed. And give them feed on demand, you'll have more eggs than you will any other way. If you want to direct their grazing, you can waste a bit of grain by throwing it into particular areas and then get in there and scratch it up. Now, there's lots of ways you can supplement their feed. You can use worm farms, you can attract insects, and you can lay down sheets of iron or rock piles and pull it up, and then you find lots of insects underneath they can scratch. You can have black soldier fly larvae farms. You can have maggots. You've got to watch that chickens don't get botulism from rotting flesh, but you can set up a maggot farm that only drops the maggots and not the rotting flesh. You can set up different fly traps. You can supplement their feed with compost like I've shown. Here I've got some new breeds, they're silver-laced Wyandottes that are coming through. We're changing onto these beautiful birds, they're dual purpose. And we've got meat pigeons that we're just getting used to our roost here. So we've got 20 new meat pigeons that I'm going to let fly. These are going to be flying and ranging round in the end. They're just going to go broody and they'll never fly away again. So they'll be going to my homestead. But there's all kinds of things we can do. Adding a little bit of comfrey in there. Comfrey as a green pick is really good for the birds. So I can poke that through the wire and they'll come in and pick that. It's growing right here. They can actually pick it through the cage, so they're probably not that interested. You can actually forage. You can use a chaff cutter, and you can cut sugar cane into very, very thin layers, like this black sugar cane. You can even take banana chunks, and you can thinly chop those very thinly, and the chickens will eat those. There's all sorts of sauces you can add the chickens to. In that you can get them into the cover crop and they'll get lots of insects. They'll disrupt it a bit. You can move them over to another area and cycle them through. They'll get used to it, right? And it just depends how many eggs you want. So you can reduce the amount of eggs and increase the amount of function, because if they're not getting fed, they're going to scratch more. They're going to range more. They're going to put more effort in. That's guaranteed. So it's your choice. And it just depends where you're getting your feed from. Now, you could put in a feed crop as well. You could put in a millet or a sorghum or a grain head of some type that's easy to grow. And then you can cut that and throw that to the chickens, or you can range them through it. They'll eat sunflowers, sunflower heads. When they're just about ripe, you can turn them over and put them in a shallow dish of water, and they'll sprout and they'll get more nutrition from a sprouted grain. Again, it's your effort to your return and the value of the result. That's all you got to add up.